night. Just got paid. Oh, hey, everybody. It's
Welcome,
Friday.
everybody. Happy
It's
Friday.
Happy Friday. Nice to see you all
Man,
here. Hi, Nick. How you doing?
I'm good, man. For some weird reason, chat is just going crazy right now.
Y'all need to calm down. We can't have spicy chat this early. I am super excited for today, but before we hop in, we do have special guests. Yes, everyone in chat is so excited, as are we. Honestly, I'm a huge fan. So, but we do have some things to talk about the show. We want to intro you guys to what Office Hours is, kind of give an overview of what we do here because we're here every Friday, right, Nick?
Every single Friday for over a year it's
I was
been,
gonna
man.
say it's been
Whew.
far over a year. We're almost at
Yes.
100 episodes, and yes, new hair don't care. That's right, Chris Porter.
What's up,
We're in
Chris?
it.
Yeah, we've
Nick,
been here every Friday, and we are kind of putting together a show as we go along. We have a first today that we will get to in a little bit, but we're here to kind of help you guys out every Friday with creative stuff, great lessons, workshops, homework, you name it. That's why we're here.
Yes, and if you've never joined us before, again, 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Friday, and this is a show that we help you guys. We have a bunch of different topics and a bunch of different seasons. I believe we're on season 6, Nick.
Yeah, like
Maybe?
we love to call it, like we could break it up any way we want, right?
That's
This is
true.
actually season 62.
Yes. But if you want to learn anything from the Adobe mobile apps, if you want to get some back to school advice, work on your portfolios, we have seasons for all of those things. You can just go to behance.net/live/students and you can see all of the past episodes of Adobe Office Hours. We are here eternally, hopefully, continuing on at least through the end of the year with 2 more seasons coming to you. And Nick, there's something else on the screen besides our names, which we'll get to in a second, that's floating down below us. What's that link?
It's a little community we like to call Discord. That's where we kind of all of the fans and people that watch the show kind of check in on. They show off their homework. They show off stuff that inspired them. We just did 2 episodes on mental health kind of things, and everybody was so cool in dropping in things that they do to kind of help each other out and stuff like that. We have a buddy system. It's a great place to check out and start your journey with Office Hours.
Yep, and right down here, so you can join this Discord right here, bit.ly/OH cabin chat. And right over here, there is a cabin chat that is actually happening, and you can see Elizabeth and Nick and Frank just joined as well in here. There's a live audio chat that happens during this show, very particular to this Adobe Live show. It's a live chat. You can hang in there, talk with friends, you can ask your questions, and who knows, maybe we'll bring you on live to chat on the show near the end. We'll see what happens there. So go into the voice chat, say hi to your friends, and yes, thank you. Our friend Elizabeth is dropping those links. So nice to see you all. Go join our Discord and hop into chat. Nick, we've talked a lot, but we haven't introduced ourselves to all these new people that are coming here.
Yeah.
Who are you, mystery man?
What's up, everybody? Nick Longo. I'm from Los Angeles. I'm a branding graphic designer and a teacher at Cal State University Northridge. I believe I see Andreas and Tanner and a few others from our school in there as well. Hey, guys. And here in LA, and this has been kind of the best little situation over the last year to work with Andrew and put this show together. Andrew, who are you? Tell us.
I'm Andrew Hochradel. I tell people that I'm a creative for hire because I'll do anything creative that you want as long as you give me money. And I'll do a little bit of everything: web design, branding, hosting, event producing, show writing like we do for this one, a little bit of everything. I am hoch.co on the internet, just hoch.co, pretty much everywhere if you want to get connected and find that out. And yes, I love that chat is totally popping off right now. It is going to be such a fun show. Nick, what do we have up next? Because I know that we do have some things to cover. What's our next
Yes.
zone we're moving to?
For our next season.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What is it?
Should we talk about that?
Let's talk about it. It's coming up in 2 weeks.
It's back to school.
Back to school. It's back to school time,
Yeah.
y'all. And we're taking a super unique twist on the back to school idea and changing up office hours as we do. Nick, what's the twist that we're taking on this next season?
We're going to kind of show you guys particular things that you probably are doing in your class, in school, even if you're just putting your portfolio together. And we're going to look at projects and kind of help you guys create something more original, more authentic, more you, and more tailored to what kind of job you want to get. So that's kind of coming up in our next season.
Yes, absolutely. And people are saying that they want gifts. Well, you can't add them into that chat, but where you can add them is over here on Discord.
Yeah, there you go.
As we have. So if you want to join our Discord, you can drop as many gifts as you want in there.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm waiting for Chris to send me one on the phone. I'm sure
Please.
that's going to happen.
Yes, do.
Come on, Chris.
So with that, Nick, I think that we're
we're ready.
Pretty much ready.
Yes.
Are you ready, Chad?
How do we even introduce our guests?
Here, let's do this. Let's cut back here. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, buckle your seatbelts and pull up a seat for Amy and Jen Hood of Hoodszpah.
Yay! What's up? Totally.
Yes.
I love it.
We're going with small forward. Small forward's the position we're gonna go with for. Yeah.
That is great.
Did either of you ever do basketball? I know that you're like huge basketball fans. Was that ever a thing? Okay. Oh. Hold on. Sorry. This is my fault.
Ooh.
Hold on.
We're getting a
all
no
right,
audio
everybody.
thing. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
I get it. I get it.
Let's see.
All
We
right,
can't hear them. Okay, so it might be.
We got it.
They're not
I
hearing
fixed
the
it. They'll.
Perfect.
Yeah, it'll fix it. All right, so here we go. Well, hey everybody, and just for chat, it is not their fault. 0%
Yes.
was that an unmuting problem. That was Andrew's fault right here.
Blame your friends over here.
You can blame us. It's fine.
Hoods, go ahead, introduce yourselves again, start over. Yes, thank you, chat. Let me know if you can hear them. I'm guessing you can. There's a 20-second delay, so it's always a nightmare when that happens.
Yeah.
Hold on, we'll do this.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Amy and Jen Hood. Teenage Woo! There we go.
What up? Hi, everybody.
Now
Can
we're
you hear
back.
us okay?
All right.
Okay. I want some jock jams
all
to
right.
start playing, you know?
We need some.
Y'all ready for this?
Yes. Yes.
I'm Amy.
Cool, we
this
got-
is
we got
Jen.
thumbs up.
We are Hoodszpah. And that's kind of the long and short of it. We do typography and lettering and brand identity design for all sorts of different kinds of people. But we love doing it, and it's so much fun. And we also wrote a book on business and creativity, which is kind of why we're here today, right? Like that's what
Exactly,
expertise
yes.
you need from us today.
Yes, we are here to talk about business. And just looking at this, this is your site. It's amazing. And Wade just dropped the link on there. This is one, awesome, amazing work. Two, I just discovered today the zone of like hovering over these for gifts.
Yes.
Is this a new thing or has this always been there?
It's been there for like 3-4 months.
Okay, well,
I
that's
mean, it's so fun,
amazing,
right?
and incredible.
It's so fun.
Yes.
Great little Easter eggs for sure.
So yeah, so you can check this out, Hoodzpah. We're gonna be all over this site today. We have like a million questions, but we also have like a million things to look at as well. Let's
cool.
hop right in and talk about the transition before we look at any work, because you guys have shown that work. We all know your work. It's awesome, hopefully. I do want to come over here to the thing that is going to take us into our episode today, and that's a little thing called Hoodzpahs. Can you tell us a little bit about the Hoodzpahs and what this is?
It's an acronym for freelance and business and stuff. It's just pretty much we started our business not knowing anything and making all the mistakes anyone could ever make. And we thought, surely there is a book about this. And there are a lot of books, but they're very heady. And we thought, well, let's just put it down the way we would want to hear it. Just like really easy to understand, a little bit of humor, and like purely from the perspective of what a creative would want to know to get their stuff started.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. We wrote it based on that, just kind of like exactly how we would want to hear it.
And I could tell you from my vantage point too, seeing students gravitate, young designers gravitate to it, it's kind of was that missing link, like you said. I don't think there was one that really approached it the same way you guys did, not only in the humor side of it and everything, but kind of bite-sized, kind of like specialized. It is such a great mix of both.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's so nice.
love it.
Yeah,
Who did your
seriously,
product
thank
photography?
you. Scott Snyder,
Who did
he's
the product-
amazing.
Scott Snyder, okay.
He's in
Gorgeous.
Costa Mesa. He's 100% so good. We were explaining to him what we wanted to do, and he was like, "Wait, come again?" Just like I want a full fish meal from a Mexican joint. We were just like, we want to show that you can take it anywhere because you can freelance anywhere. That's the goal, like the freedom of it. We wanted the book to go wherever you would want to go as a freelancer,
Sure.
like working on the go at a Mexican restaurant or at the pool or whatever. Yeah, I don't know if it came across, but that was the impetus for the shoot. And it's short and sweet. That's like the whole point. You can take it anywhere. It's that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yep. We're also giving 20 points to Hoodspah, the Hoodzpah house for using the word impetus. Honestly, that is the biggest word that we've ever used here on Office Hours. We keep it real third grade level here.
Oh, Jen slays at Scrabble. She's not fun to play with whatsoever. She beats everyone by like 200 points.
Yes. And another resource that we wanted to show off, we are going to transition and talk about business a bit, but I did want to cover in the shop, there are a whole bunch of things, and I'm actually going to cut to a different screen. This screen here features a couple things that are yours. What gorgeousness exists here that is related to the Hoodspahs?
I know. Oh my gosh, I loved this. Nick designed this, right? And it features one of our typefaces, one of our fonts called Beverly Drive. It's that one for Fireside and with Jen and Amy Hood. And then he also used Matt Dawson's new font, which is a beauty. I think it's called Zinger or Zanger. Yeah. So Zelker. Okay, there we go.
Zelker, got it. Yes. So you guys can go check those out. We can drop links into chat. If chat, Wade, if you can look, it is Matt Dawson, I believe, right? Right.
It should be on his Stay Gray Pony Boys website. Yeah, I'll find it as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. If you can grab that link, you can drop them in there, and that would be great. So you have a lot of products for sale, a lot of fonts, all that fun stuff. And with that said, you have built not only just an agency that's like makes a couple things or like a font foundry, you've built like a business of all of the things. And I think that's what we want to talk about today. We do have a ton of questions from our audience. And so let's just hop in. It killed my joke, but we're going to go there first. Okay, here we go. Pretend like we didn't see that. So we have Amy and Jen Hoodspah, and the first question that I have for you is, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
Oh my gosh.
It's all too good, it's all too great, and it's all too much for us to look at. And so how dare you is the question that comes from Andrew.
That's what fuels me, is just to make everyone else jealous. Oh my gosh. No, but I really do think being twins is a huge part of how we operate, because we've been so competitive our whole life, being like, oh, you think you're the superior twin? Let me just show you. And I think it's just that one-upsmanship makes us just like never stop.
You found a way to make it like such a great advantage, right? It's like, that's so killer.
Our insecurities just funneled into business. It's hilarious.
How are you successful? Insecurity.
Wildly insecure.
All right, cool. Yes. And chat, if you see some like weird things happening there, this is the most complicated setup we've ever had for a stream, which is exciting. And so it looks like the audio sync may be a little bit off, but it may catch up. I'll try to fix it as we go and answer questions. But use your imaginations here on Adobe Office Hours. As long as we have the audio, you can listen through and get some good answers here. Let's hop into the first question that we have. This is from the internets. In chat, if you have questions, drop them in chat. We will answer them as we go. But the first question we have from Brandon Moore. Longtime Hoodspah fan and so happy to see this group grow into one of the very best design studios. So where do you take it from here? What do you ultimately want Hoodspah to be? That's a question.
Leave it to Brandon. Good question.
It is a question.
Right.
I feel like we change it every year. But like most designers, I think probably, or creatives, you know, it's like you see something new and you want to try something new. And the hardest part is like focusing in and staying true and becoming somebody who's known for a niche, because that's kind of how you become the go-to, right? And that's how you can charge the big bucks, is like, oh, they're the girls that you go to if you want a really great custom word mark for your brand, you know? So it's like the hardest part was us figuring out like what we were going to be known for. But now I feel like we're still like pivoting and changing, because for a while it was like, oh, they're the brand identity design studio. And now we're trying to be more known for type and for, you know, fonts that you can actually sell, retail fonts, or like custom fonts and things like that. So I think we're just continually trying to diversify our business, because the world is just so uncertain, and business is so uncertain, and life is so uncertain. And so just always having like a couple of different, like,
irons in the fire.
Yeah, irons in the fire, whether it's, you know, whether it's like the business or well, and the good thing is that the type design and the brand identity go hand in hand. It's like, because we were good at logos and custom like word marks, that led into the type design. So I don't think those are too far off. Sometimes I think when you diversify, it can almost be like, wait, they do what? And what? You know, it almost feels like a little bit like, well, it's weird because like in the 50s, it's like you had to be an actor, a singer, a dancer, like, but now if you act and sing, it's like you're a hack.
Like,
you know?
how dare you?
Right. So I don't know. It's like, do whatever you want. There's rules, but Yeah. They're like, you think you can sing? It's like, I can sing, or whatever.
What do you think about advice for the business plan? Even the person that's a solo person, got 3 or 4 clients on the side, hoping to make that their goal to switch over to freelance one day. What are those little principles of setting up a really good business plan? Because I know I hate to say it, a lot of designers or creatives aren't thinking that at the very beginning. I know you guys talked about it a lot in a few interviews.
Right. Well, I mean, so like a business plan, you would, kind of outline like what is our niche, what are our services, who's our target audience, how we're going to appeal to those people, and then some kind of like financials, like this is our goal of what we want to make and how we think we're going to do it, right?
Yeah, and it really is that simple. I feel like people get so worried about the word business plan. It's like, just get a blind piece of paper, tear it out of a notebook, and literally just write, what do I want to make this year?
Yeah.
Who do I want to work with? And what industry is that in? Yeah. And then whenever you think about like, okay, how am I talking about myself on my website? It's like, how does it serve those 2 things, the industry and the dream client? Yeah. And it's just writing it down, even like however rough, even just like on a piece of paper that you end up throwing away, the act of writing it down, you will remember that. And it is weird how it just helps steer all of your decisions that if you sit down without that in mind, take like so much time and you're waffling about like, I don't know, because you just didn't take the time to say like, well, what's one dream client? Yeah, okay, what industry is that? Okay, let's go for that to start and see like where that takes us.
I like what you said about the money part too. Like, have an idea. How much do you want to make? And businesses have to do that with their budgets every year. So why not make a small, even if it's a Post-it on the wall, right?
Totally.
Yep. And speaking of freelance and business and stuff, so a couple of years ago, I went full-time freelance, went on my own, and like I had the book, and I remember I was in Michigan visiting family, and I was sitting on a boat in like a little dock. It was on the 4th of July. It sounds like I'm like literally about to tell some horrific story. It was the 4th of July. But I was on a boat and I was reading. I was like, cool, on vacation, I'm gonna read freelance and business and stuff. And there was a worksheet that was like, cool, how much do you want to make? And then here's what you need to do this, and like the full breakdowns. And I like filled out this like whole worksheet or whatever, and like had it. And I was like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. And like that was my goal forever. And it was like that mindset of changing from like, oh, I'm just gonna like freelance, to like, oh, okay, I like need to make a plan and like figure out what are the next steps to get to somewhere, and not just like it totally exists as a freelancer.
Right.
Well, especially because like, wouldn't you say like the thing that gives most people anxiety is like the unknown and being like, I don't even know where to start. So like just having like those 3 things nailed down, like just gets rid of so much of that anxiety of like what and why and where are we going,
right?
And it's like, the cool thing too is, guess what, that can change. Like say you get a really awesome client in the middle of the year and you realize like this is actually the area I want to be going in now, and you can change, just get something started, just going in a direction, and just having those little things written down of like, these are my goals, can just help with like the scariness of it.
Yeah. Love that.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of people writing in questions, and I'm not ignoring you, I promise. But there are some of these things that are already in questions that we will be covering. And so if you ask a question that I know is coming, it might seem like I'm ignoring you, but I promise we're getting to it later. And then a side note for us here on the screens, our audios are out of sync for us, but it's fine on stream. So everything's going great. If it looks weird on our side, just imagine that it's all great. Chat never knows. All right. So let's go ahead and hop in to the next question that comes from one of our Discord members. Mimi Runs with Scissors is the username here. And the question is, what is Hoodspah's marketing strategy that they are able to attract both Walt Disney clients as well as startups that turn grandma's ashes into diamonds? So we've got grandma's ashes into Walt Disney's. And it's kind of the conversation of like the fishing net, which is broad, versus like the harpoon trying to like shoot something. What's your strategy to that?
Right. Well, I'll tell you, like, specifically for those things, well, it was a mix of things. Okay, first of all, I just want to let everyone know we've been around for 10 years. This is our 10 year, and we're so proud. But so
it took forever.
But yeah, I'm just saying, like, Disney came around at about year 8. So don't feel bad if you're year 1, 2, 3, and you're like, where the hell is Disney? Like, don't worry, they'll come in soon, right? But just so you know, that whole time, literally, we were on Instagram sharing stuff to social. And I'm not saying that social is like an easy ticket. In fact, it's a very long game. That's not like a short game way to get clients like quickly, but it is something where if you have a good work history that shows, like, we have a ton of custom type and word mark stuff on our Instagram. Literally, you keep scrolling and there's more and more and more of it. So when the person who was at Disney was searching hashtags and finally found us and saw like, oh my gosh, this is almost all they do is just custom type. It made it really easy for them to then reach out. So, and that's actually how we got in with Disney. It was actually 20th Century Fox. One of the art directors there found us, DM'd us. So check your DMs and don't underestimate the power of social media, even though there is a lot of noise that comes through there. But then the person who was at 20th, they got bought out by Disney. And so then we got to work with there. So that was that one group. And then Eternova, which is the Diamonds from Ashes company, I think, again, they found us through social, which is
Was it
kind
really?
of crazy.
I thought it was a friend referred them or something.
No,
Oh.
they just, or it was someone on Twitter referred them. So again, I'm really, I mean, the power of our network on social, Twitter, you know, just people referring you who have seen your work either on and just like it as a peer or as a fan, but then refer it to someone who actually does have a business that's willing to pay. You know, you just never know who's going to make that referral.
It really is a lot to do with people. Wouldn't you guys say? I mean, I find that like almost every really great referral we have or like person who comes in contact with us is like, it was either like a relationship forged via the internet or just like a friend of ours referred us to them. Yeah. And that human connection is so important. And I know a lot of people say like, well, I don't have that many followers or whatever. Be the friend you want to receive or like you want to have, like comment on other people's posts that you admire and start the discussion, the dialogue. Yeah. And eventually that two-way communication will start. But I think a lot of people are always waiting for someone else to make the first like move when it's like, jump in there, leave a comment, be specific, be funny, be like, let your personality show. And don't worry if you're doing it too much, because that's how people take notice. And then they're like, this person interacts with me a lot. Oh, they're really cool. They're really supportive. Like, what are they up to? That happens to me all the time on Twitter.
Yep. It's top of mind, right?
That, I tell people basically that strangers are just friends you haven't made yet. And sometimes it's like not good advice, but sometimes it's like, like the majority of things that like I've gotten from hosting conferences, from getting jobs, from whatever is like, cool. I went up to a random Nick, literally the show exists because I went to a conference and I was like, that guy looks cool. Let's go get tacos. And here we are. That's literally it. Watching. Yeah.
Yeah.
And crazy. It can be so scary because I mean, don't you think it could be scary? Because like, Nick, you're super outgoing. Andrew, you're super outgoing. We are also outgoing. And I know a lot of people they're like, I have social anxiety. Like I'm a very nervous person. Like it's scary to reach out, but that's why the internet is great. You can reach out and you don't have to have the awkwardness of like walking up to a stranger. Like there's nothing to lose. Just do it, you know?
Yeah. I think that's a great way. It's almost like you're planting the seed in a way. There's some knownness of being attached in social. So when you do get that chance to actually be in front of them at another desk or meet them in person, you have something already there as a foundation.
Oh,
you know?
Totally. And I would say this is kind of a cheat, but I've noticed, and even when I worked at a magazine before I was in design, which I was doing design at the magazine, but I had a little column. And I noticed that if I reached out to celebrities and talked to them about their hobby or their charity and not about their movie or their TV show, they were like 100% more likely to contact me back, because the thing that they're really passionate that nobody cares about, if I talk to them about that, they love that. People are harassing them for this other thing that is like they talk about all the time, you know? So if you can find something in common with someone that has nothing to do with design or photography or whatever creative industry you're in and just connects you two as humans, that I think is the secret sauce. Because our friend at Disney, we talk about the Lakers nonstop, and like we're like best friends now, like you know, outside of just work. So I think there is something to be said for that.
Mm-hmm. It kind of all adds up to your reputation, right? It's kind of like all that these things become your reputation. Everything you're known for, the referrals that you might get, a great friendship you could make, could lead to something down the road. You never know. It's just being prepared. Yeah,
so true.
Absolutely. So moving on, we have another question coming in. So we have a bunch of questions that were sent in before the show. We have some coming in here. And then we also have some that I've written that like kind of matter. And so if we get to them, we do. If not, then we don't. But I want to hop in here and talk about this one. When starting out as a freelancer, how do you balance your full-time job and freelance on the side? And when is it appropriate time in your design career to go full-time freelance? A lot of people were writing in during the show about this idea. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for each person, it's different. Obviously, you know, if you have people relying on you and it's not just you, there's a little bit more risk involved for when do you, you know, take the step away from what seems more, stable, right? But I mean, I think the most important thing is you just got to build up savings, because once you've got and figure out what that is, it's like if you really want to give yourself like 3 good months to make a go at full-time freelance, then save up. And I know this sounds crazy, but make that budget and figure out how long is it going to take me to save up, 3 to 4 months of kind of the expenses. The expenses that I would need to live with my family or whoever is relying on you. And just break that down, just say how much, okay, let's say, and if you're not even thinking of going full time, still make a budget and say how much would I need to save across 3 years if I want to go freelance full time in 3 years? Because from 3 years from now, you might want to go there. Yeah. So just break that down and just save. That's all I can say. Because once you have that cushion, that's what gives you that feeling of freedom to where you're like, okay, I don't have to like panic.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, try and wait till it's really stressful and there's a lot of like energy that goes into doing freelance on the side, but it's so great if you have a few of those clients built up so that when you do makes it the transition to full time, you at least have some money coming in, right?
Right. Steady money. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice little safety net there when you've got a few.
And
I think that.
No, Andrew, go.
So I definitely since I've started, because I'm still in like the beginner freelancer zone, even though it's been 2.5 years now, I'm still in like, oh my gosh, tomorrow is like the last day and I'm going to lose all my clients. I'm not gonna have any money. But anytime I look at bank accounts or whatever, I literally judge my success by like, how many months do I have until I'm like not a freelancer anymore? And that's constantly in my brain is like, all right, guys, we made it up to 8 months. All right, let's keep going. We got this for at least 8 more months. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, that's so, it's amazing though. I mean,
and I think as far as like when to know, if you have like a ton of people that are wanting to get on your books and you just don't have time to take it on, like Jen and I, before we went freelance full time, we had so many friends that were like, can't you help us with this? Can't you help us with this? But we were so busy at our day jobs, we didn't have any time for it. So if you're doing a ton of side work and you're booking things out 2 to 3 months, maybe that's your chance to like take the leap. It's like, okay, I have enough people wanting. And then what you could do is before you jump out and like quit your job, get the projects lined up for when you're, going to transition. It's like, okay, if you hand in your 2 weeks notice, you can start, October 1st and then get your first month of work lined up so that you have that money coming in pretty quickly,
Oh yeah. You're relieving so much stress from not just being a little bit more prepared to take that leap. And I think that's the thing that stops people most of the time is that idea of work that's already set up, maybe some money in the bank to kind of get you through that thing. And I think those are the best advice I can think of too, because everything else seems so changeable, like timing. Yeah. Now there's someone might have 2 part-time jobs plus doing freelance, right? As opposed to the one full-time thing, or maybe their full-time's not even creative. So the stories I keep hearing of everybody who is juggling this stuff, oh my gosh, it just changes all the time,
Yeah.
Totally.
All right. So next question, and this is I kind of want to skip the first part of this question. Sorry, Rendell, and talk more about the second part of this question.
Yes.
How do you find good clients? We talked about that, social media. What are some major and minor red flags to look out for? We love red flags. What do you got?
Oh, we do. And it's so funny how every person has their own red flags as well. Because some people like to work more on the fly, like to do things via phone call, like to take lots of meetings. I hate meetings. I think they are such a waste of time. I like to do them at key phases, but if somebody wants to meet or do a call for every single time they want to give me some sort of piece of feedback, that is a big red flag for me. Because I'm like, if you can't take the time to write down your edits, which I need in writing so that I can come back to you later when you say, I didn't want that, and say, but you did on September 7th, you said, and I quote in this email, you want to get your changes in writing. So if people can't take the time to just write you a simple email saying, this is what I need, I've taken the time to think about what my business needs, it usually means they're flying by the seat of their pants and everything is very up in the air. And half the time that we try to quote them, we don't hear from them in 2 months because everything was just like, yeah, I think I'll start a business. I'm just going to go get a quote instead of having it actually ready to go.
Yeah.
So that's a red flag. If they don't want to sign a contract or pay a portion of the project fee up front, huge red flag.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people know that.
And there's a lot of people who are just, if they're working with you and you're the first creative they've ever worked with, they just don't know how it works. So you just have to tell them hey, this is just how our industry works. You put a little bit of money down, and then I start, but until I get the money down, I don't start. Sorry. Other red flags, if they just email and it's like, call me, I need some, call me, I need a logo, or call me, I have a project, things like that, where I'm like, I just need a little bit more information. And I'm saying that's a red flag because we're a little bit more picky now because, you know, we do have the luxury of a lot of referrals coming in. Obviously, when we first started out, I would make that call because it's like, you know, and just so you know, like we did all kinds of work we were not proud of. And I don't mean like it was bad. I just mean it's not like the dream work we wanted to do when we first started. Yeah. So don't feel bad if you're doing some work to pay the bills and some work that's passion. That's totally normal and totally fine. And even to this day, we take on some stuff where we're like, the money's too good not to take it, but it's not really, you know, that interesting or whatever.
Yeah. I've got a piggyback question to that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wait, I have one more red flag. Sorry. If there's going to be 10, if there's going to be 10 more than like 2 people approving the logo, run for the hills.
Designed by committee. Yeah.
Because it's almost impossible to get approval through like 2 to 3 people. But when it's like, they're like, we're going to show this to the whole board and have everybody in the company vote on it. You're like, great. It's like, just, so anyway, but Nick, your question.
Part of what you were saying, I love what you're saying up front about you're almost project managing for them to make your life a lot easier, right? Like you were saying, keeping track of all the emails and all those things and like a timeline and all that stuff. To make things easier by kind of being a bit of a project manager, are you factoring that into your estimates at the very beginning, as opposed to maybe what, like you were saying, those first few jobs you took where you didn't know you had to do that?
Right. 100%. Yeah. Now it's like, okay, what's it going to cost just to do it? And then plus what's the value to do it? Like, what's the value of this beyond just the time it takes? Plus what's the time it's going to take just to manage, like, you know, however many cats are involved. You got to figure in all those things. And then plus what we call, just shit happens. So plus 10% for shit happens. Sorry. I don't know. Please.
Cha-ching.
That's great. One of the best advice I remember you guys said was, if a project comes your way and there's way too many red flags, but like for some reason you're like, give this a shot, double your rate and try it. That way, if you land it, you've doubled your rate. If you didn't, you got the exercise of asking for more. And I love. I've done it twice. It worked once, and it actually turned out quite good. It turned out quite good, but it also sets the standard now for. Now you're at this level with them for pricing, not here. And we as these independent designers have to figure that threshold out. And it's such a good feeling when it works.
Oh yeah.
I think that is like something that you should try regularly. Like if you're too busy, raise your rates because you don't have time anyway. And then if you get it makes it worthwhile, right? Like everyone says that. But also, even if you're not too busy, like maybe once every 2 months, just try a higher rate. Just see, you know, if you're not hurting for it and if it's not like a complete dream project. Just like you have to kind of test that envelope every now and again because it can be really easy to just like stagnate and you know, try it.
Love it. Love it. Next one.
All right, on to, and I know we're just going to book through questions. Like that's all that's going to happen on this stream, which I love. Like gauging time, I'm like, we're just getting at it, guys. So here's the next question: after a project is finished, how do you get booked for future projects with that client and stay on the top of mind? This is really interesting, and it's probably a social zone, but I'm interested in that because you guys have a lot of repeat offenders, I think, right?
Oh, Tanner's so smart though too. Like you want repeat clients.
It's the easiest. Like someone said, how do you find good clients? Literally the easiest clients to get are ones you've already worked with. Like you know them, they know you. So much of that time that it takes to build up trust has already happened. So I think a big part of it, like you said, Andrew's just staying in touch with them. So, and it's weird, but it's hard to remember who you've worked with when you get really busy. So this is where like a CRM sheet is like really valuable, which is like a customer relationship management or client relationship management. And it could just be a spreadsheet, but you pretty much, we have like a Trello board, which is like all of our current clients on deck. And then we have one of all the past clients so that we can just remember who we worked with, right? So then when we have days that we're a little bit light or, you know, our sister B works with us and every once in a while we'll be like, hey B, like look up these people and reach out and just say, hey, and see how they're doing by email, you know? And it could, and the best way to do it is not just say, hey, how are you? Do you need anything? I have time coming up. I'd like some money. Optimally, you would look them up and see what they're actually doing with their business and say, hey, I just saw you were doing this. Congratulations. Like, you know, just celebrate their wins with them and it'll remind them. Most often they do have things that come up that they need. They're just so busy. They just forget to reach out or are too stressed or don't have time. So just stay in contact, you know?
Do you let them know about your
I think just like if you follow them
well?
on social. Yeah, like if you follow them on social, like that's a great way to remember like what they're up to and to remember to reach out, right?
Even I find LinkedIn is that spot too, because they are, when they get to show something that they're very proud of, they put it out there, and you just saying looks great or giving them a like puts you back into their frame of mind.
Absolutely. Sorry, I was working behind the scenes as you were talking, so I didn't hear anything you said, but I'm going to pretend like it was really, really great.
Good. There you go.
I love that. Great insight. Chat, let me know if there's anything weird with the audio. I think that I fixed some things, and if not, let me know if things get weird.
Are we good now?
Yeah, I couldn't hear Nick for a while, but I don't know if that's...
Oh, no worries. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, he's still muted.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. Maybe I broke something. All right. Hold on. Wait, we got it.
Poor Andrew. He's like the Wizard of Oz behind the scenes. Like, I don't
knows
know how
what
you're
he's
doing it. It's so impressive. You're like answering questions, writing questions, like doing it all.
All right. All right. We're going back. Here we go.
We look good.
Let's do this. Here we go. Let's go to the next question. So the next question is going to be, do you have suggestions for suddenly non-responsive or slow to respond clients? And this is from our friend Emily. And go ahead and answer that, and your things are going to be happening.
Okay, cool. No worries. No matter where you get at in your career, there will always be one of these clients in your life. And it's frustrating, but some tactics that we've used in the past, it kind of depends on what kind of person they are and what kind of feedback they respond well to. But an easy thing to do is just to say, hey, we have new projects that are coming up that we booked out for after this project was supposed to be finished. And because of the delays, like, you're going to be put to the back burner if you just, if we aren't able to wrap this up kind of quickly. And I don't want your project to be kind of like sidelined just because we have these other projects that are on deck. So hopefully that motivates them. If that doesn't motivate them enough, you could then say, like, hey, we're going to be so busy that we really can't even keep working on this. Like, we need to kind of wrap it up. Otherwise, let's just get you settled for what you owe up until now. And, we can pick this back up whenever you're ready, and we can rework you back into our schedule once you're ready to get moving forward again. I've also met people who actually have a fee for if people actually go crazy beyond the scheduled timeline, because I've never used that tactic. I think it's kind of, I don't know. It's never worked. I don't know.
It's hard.
I agree.
Yeah, it is hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to enforce. Like, it'd be easy for them to be like, I'm not paying that.
Right.
I just had a client that came back, and we started a website. They had a baby, and then it stalled for a while. And in that stall, I missed a renewal on something. And so their entire website got deleted, and then I had to rebuild it. And then we came back and they're like, hey, we feel bad this has taken so long, and you've had to do so much work on it. So we're just going to pay you more. And I was like, we'll do a stall fee that I didn't have that I do. I'm going to have that now, nice. I guess. So thank you. This is the weirdest situation.
First of all, that never happens, and that's amazing. Wow. What? Keep these clients, hold them dear, send them presents, whatever you have to do to keep them. That's amazing. But also, Arabella and Ellie from Weekend Creative, they also have a restart fee. So it's like, if you put their stuff on hold and then you want to restart later on, there is I understand that whole idea of a restart thing, because it's like they obviously are going to start booking your time again. The thing with trying to charge a late fee is you have to hope that they'll pay it even though there's no deliverables tied to it, which is really hard to enforce. But yeah, the restart thing totally makes sense.
Yeah. And I have it in the contract, but I've never had to use it. So the restart fee, because I remember hearing that and thinking, what a great idea, but never had to. I think it's just safe to have it. Or even what you were saying earlier, just making sure you're sticking to the timeline. And if you don't, you could go back burner. That's
what we do. It's always worked for us. And the key is don't wait until it's the next day you're starting a new project. You have to give them enough time to where you can wrap it up. Mm-hmm. It's okay, 2 weeks before you need to get on the next thing, make sure you're setting up a new timeline that's hey, if we can't get things done on this new timeline, you're going to be moved to the back burner, and that'll be 2 months from now. And they almost always are here's my changes.
Yes, and
per our last email,
our friends, at Weekend Creative. So this is very relevant. So there's a podcast called Per Our Last Email. I believe that Amy and Jen were the episode last week, and I am the episode next week. So everyone go listen, go subscribe, and you'll just get a double dose of what's happening today. Nick, we need to get you on. I'll make the connection. We'll get you an episode out there.
Amazing.
It's
all
the
about
title
drinking and nightmare
so
clients.
True.
So it's perfect. It's
the missing link in my life right now.
Right. All right. So let's continue zooming on with these questions. And I think that was it from the questions that were written in ahead of time. Yes. I do have a couple that I want to get to.
Let's go to it.
And this is a question that is kind of a two-parter, but I want to ask it as one question. Is right now, how do you get clients? We've already answered that. And this is the real important, is how did you get clients? I think, right, a lot of people see you as like, oh, Hoodszpah Design, like at your, you know, like climbing to the pinnacle of your agency. But like, how did you start? What was the beginning of like, cool, I did like a project. Here's my student portfolio. Like, how did you used to get clients?
It was all friends and acquaintances. And there was a lot of people that from just like people we used to work with, and not always in a design sense even. Just we just shamelessly told everyone, and we just like, we sent emails. We pretty much anyone we ever knew, we texted, emailed, told them on social, like, hey, we're taking on work, we're designers, literally anything you need, we'll do. So, and I think that was it was just letting people know. And that's literally your first audience, is family and friends. Those are the people they say never to work with, but those are the people you have to work with at the beginning, because really no one else will trust you. It's unfortunate. But to be honest, like some of our friends, we did really amazing work with them, even though they barely paid us anything, and sometimes nothing. It was just in trade a lot of times. But it was stuff that they would give us the freedom to do what we wanted to do, because we were doing them a solid. Now, half of these things, I will say, just fell to pieces, and like we just never talk about them anymore. But those were our first clients.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing things for trade. That's sometimes like the best thing to do, is get stuff that's going to help you in your career or just in your life by trading, and think, you know, early in the career, you're like, oh, I have to make money. You're like, okay, cool. What if I could get a placement, or I could get product, or I could get marketing? I just traded a product for a risograph printer. That it's what can help you get to your goal, not necessarily like what can make you money right now. Any little things that could be trades to get you to that goal, like could be better than making money at that moment.
Right. Another great tactic that we kind of stumbled into accidentally is our friend Josh Ritchie ran a agency locally called Column 5. We met him at a local meetup, and their agency was way bigger than we were when we first met him. We were like working for nickels and dimes, you know, but they were nice enough. They saw, oh, wow, okay, they can do illustration. And he said, you know, we have all kinds of stuff we could use your help on. We can just subcontract you. Well, that is the easiest gig as a young creative. First of all, agencies have tons of work coming in that they have to flex to, that their internal team doesn't always have specialty for. So, and they get better budgets. They do all the hard work of quoting.
They do the project management.
They do the project
which is
management.
when you're young is really hard because you feel like an imposter. So they help you learn how to navigate that whole thing.
So cold email agencies in your area, agencies outside of your area, agencies all over the world. Just cold email them and say, I'm good at these 3 things. Love everything you're doing. Like if you ever need help, let me know. I'd love to work with you. To this day, people reach out to us and say, can we work together on something? I usually say, we don't usually collaborate that much, but I would love to just refer you. So even if you cold email, sometimes they'll just put you on a referral list for people that aren't really right for them, and, you know, funnel you work. And I funnel people all kinds of work who reach out to me. So send me your portfolio. Let me know.
And we had a lot of friends who were in the creative industry that we knew and really respected, who didn't do the exact creative thing we did. So like we got a lot of referral work from photographer friends, from web developer friends, like good work. So it's like find people who have like a tertiary creative skill to you that, you know, could refer you work, and likewise back and forth. And
points for tertiary.
Points for tertiary. But also always, this is so big. I can't tell you how many times we've referred really amazing projects to people and not heard a thank you, not heard a I got this, not heard a word. And I remember that. And you are on my list.
You got it.
Because
keep the community alive. You gotta give back. You got to.
A simple thank you is literally all it takes. That is literally, it means the world. And then I know, I'm like, oh wow, it came through. Number one, like, great, that's amazing. I'll keep referring to them. Like, this is a good, you know, they're responding, you know, but it's like, always thank the people. If it's just an email, or maybe you send them like a gift card, or if you even want to do a referral fee, they will really send you work. But, you know, just do something. It can be so little.
You could pop a little Starbucks card right from your iMessage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that easy.
So simple. Yeah.
It's just thoughtful. I think that's the way to do it, because I think everybody wants to be treated the same way. If you did the referral to something, you'd want, it's just a little bit of that reciprocal thing back, you know?
Yeah.
Sure.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love that.
Yep. And it becomes a fun thing too. I'm like my zone. I'm like a huge gift giver, and I love doing like weirdly specific things. And so it's like a
Yes.
joy at the end of a project to like stalk the client and be like, what's the thing that's going to surprise them so much
Oh,
that like I
totally.
can get over there, and then just seeing the reaction, and it just helps build that relationship. And we've talked on the show before that it's important to know about your clients, to be, you know, not all business, to be like, hey, how was Susie's softball game on Saturday? I know you were coaching. Did it go well? That stuff's really important. And if you pair that with that like closing out gift, it can be really, really good to just help build that relationship.
Oh,
Yeah.
so true. You know your clients better than the TikTok algorithm knows me, probably. Like that's because you have given us a couple gifts that were absolutely like perfection.
All right, we have a question coming in from Laura. Oh, go ahead. You go.
Okay, well, I want to build this. So I'm going to design out a certificate that's like, I survived a underline with Hoodzpah. And it'll be like a certificate of like, I don't even know.
Like a college degree.
Yeah, but I want it to look very official and like something they would want to frame. But it pretty much just like, you know, like puts our relationship and the accomplishment of rebranding or doing a redesign on the logo into something they can keep and treasure. Because really, some of the larger projects we do with people can be like really stressful and a lot's going on. And I just always want to be like, you did it. Like, way to go. Like you know, let us all through this across the finish line. Like I want to be able to give them a certificate,
A trophy
at the
or
end.
something.
Yeah.
And that goes with the value that you bring. You know, it's kind of like you put it is a hard thing. And sometimes all those little lessons, all that project management you've done, giving them that gift would be, and then that little certificate would be hilarious. I think it just keeps the humor going too. And they think of you more.
Yes.
Love
Yeah,
it.
totally.
And it totally feels on brand for you, which is where we're going to go with our next question. And I actually was surprised earlier when you said, you know, if you just scroll through our Instagram feed, it's like all this like custom lettering, and that's kind of what we do. Because in my brain, I'd never thought of like that being the Hoodzpah brand. For some reason, it's just like so all encompassing in lifestyle. It's like illustration and color. And then I'm like, oh, but it's like, yeah, it's type. And that like was a revelation to me about your brand. How did you discover and like start to standardize the Hoodspah personal brand? Because I know a lot of people are asking about personal branding. Like, how did this happen? Because it feels like I know Hoodzpah when I see it.
I mean, it's so funny because like we do this for clients all the time, but it took us forever to like finalize our own brand. And I wish we had done it sooner, but it's like, whatever you can, do it as soon as you can, because it saves you so much time and so much stress, and you can change it later. But it took us a while to like finalize our color palette and our fonts and everything. And I think it just took a lot of like trial and error of like, what is our style? Like any creative, it takes you like probably 3+ years of being actually a working, you know, creative to kind of like figure out what people associate with your name when they say like, what does Hoodzpah do? Like, what kind of work do they think of, you know?
Yeah.
So after like a couple years, I was like, I really want us to have like a standardized palette now that we're making products, because I really want it to feel like when you get something, this is like from Hoodspah. And we wanted all the packaging, all the books, everything that we make, if you put it together, it would feel very in line.
Yeah.
Because like if you notice like people like Draplin who have Draplin Orange, or Meg Lewis who has like her Meg Lewis Funhouse colors, like these people, even the guy that was on before us on Adobe live stream for the XD, what's his name?
Oh, we don't know it. We were looking at it
Gross.
before. Is that it?
Brandon Gross. Okay,
Glass tie.
amazing. The mirror tie, everything is like very futuristic Blade Runner. Like having something you're known for is so handy for people to remember you. It really is like this.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is like just start leaning into something. You can always pivot
Run
later.
with it.
Yeah.
When you say,
Yeah.
Well, and really the way we discovered it, Amy has always been really good about doing passion projects. Just whenever she wants to do something that we're not getting hired for, she'll just do it because she wants to. And I started doing it recently with the 10 by projects where you redesign your favorite 10 albums of the year. And because I was doing it with a group where we all had to submit them for the person who was running it to then put it on a website, I actually had to do it. Otherwise, I would let a friend down.
Good.
So I cannot overstate the importance of doing passion projects, but doing it in a way where you're held accountable so that you don't just like do one project across a whole freaking year. Like just do it quick, do it in an hour and send it to your friend and they'll post it. And over time, that's how you develop and you think, okay, these are the things that I actually like. It's not the thing that is always just for the client, but what I truly like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And you made the transition for me. Like I didn't even have to make a transition to the next question. What systems or steps do you have set up to keep yourselves and your business accountable to deadlines or personal projects? We talked about this on the episode. Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Nick. What do you know about
Oh, were you going to ask me?
Yeah, sorry, I was going to ask you, we did an episode on this, and I wanted to see if you could recap real quick when we talked about accountability and keep yourself accountable, and even like the buddy system that we have set up, kind of some of the things we talked about in that episode.
Yes.
Oh, it's definitely that. Let someone else know
Yep.
what your goals are and what the timeline is, so you can have someone to be accountable for you. Because a lot of times
Nick,
too, right?
1000%.
Yeah, if you're working solo, through all the Slack channels and the folks that I get to associate with on daily, weekly basis, I let them know when there's something like that happening that I want to do or I'm trying to do. Because it could just fall to the back so fast if no one else is like knocking on my door and saying, let's go. But more importantly, our buddy system on Discord, that's where they're keeping track of each other. That's what he was hoping I would say. I get it.
Oh no, I felt like we were going there, and it felt like that was a transition that we needed to make right there. But
he took the bait.
Yes, let's get the hoods. Did we get your answer on that, or did we just
Go
we
for
took
it,
over
guys.
hoods?
Okay.
What is your answer to this personal projects?
Yes, well, it's basically the same thing. Like, I need the pressure of letting someone else down to make me commit. And we were actually, our little sister B is actually in the chat, who is the fourth member of Hoodzpah, along with Arturo Jimenez. But B, I told her when she was learning design, I was like, you should try to do some drink and draws, or like join in with other creatives that you know and respect, so that you have someone to hold you accountable to be practicing and to be doing things with, and somebody that you want to impress, almost, somebody that you want to get better, to show them that you're leveling up. And so she has her friends that she does drink and draws with. And it's the main reason that I live stream, to hold myself accountable to do the side work that I really want to do. It's like, I have to do something for an hour. I cannot let the people down.
You've combined them really by the passion project you want to do and doing streaming, right? Like, you're being accountable online in a way, with an audience. And that's a good way to do it.
I mean, if you don't have like a close friend, like, start putting it on your profile, like on social, be like, hey, like, I really want to hold myself accountable. Like, does anybody want to, like, here's my goal. Like, does anybody want to be my buddy? Like, let's draw together. Let's make a week-long project, whatever,
That's great. Make it happen if it's not out there. That's just the biggest point, right? I love that. That's great.
All right, so I want to show one more thing. We only have like 3 minutes left, but I do want to show and talk a little bit about, I know we went fast and there was a bunch of things, this online course, Freelance and Business and Stuff, which is what we've been doing today. We did freelance, we did business, and boy, did we do stuff. Do you want to talk a little bit about the course, what it is, what people can learn, and where they can find it?
Yeah, well, pretty much it's just our book, but expanded out into pretty much a full-blown workshop that really is a lot more interactive. We give a lot more stories and personal anecdotes that really explain how, the process of freelancing and working for yourself works. And we give a ton of templates that we use in our business, like ourselves, so that you have everything you need, from like your proposal template to, your discovery decks, all that. There's chapters on pricing, agreements, keeping track of your clients, all that kind of thing. Pretty much start to finish what you need to start freelancing. And you can either pay monthly so that it's a little bit more manageable, or upfront. But just like you all, we have a Slack channel, and that by far is what students love the most, is just being able to get quick answers to their questions. Most of the time it's like, hey, I need to send this proof tomorrow. Will you tell me, like, is it good? What do I need to fix? So we give each other like actual design feedback, but also just helping each other price. Has anyone worked with a client like this before? How should I price this? Yeah, things like that,
And of course, if you want to, you can also pick up the paperback book and go through that as well. Read through, draw on the pages, scribble it out. There are some like built-in posters that are like maybe supposed to be posters, but like I ripped them out, so I'm like, they're posters now. There's some really, really cool stuff in this book and great resources. All right, we have 1 minute left, and I'm just going to throw to you, since my audio is a little bit delayed, and I'll let you all take the rest of the show. Hoods, do you have any advice generally for people that are watching that are starting their careers? And then after that, Nick, you can go ahead and close out the show today.
I think we're having audio problems. I couldn't hear you, bro.
Me neither.
Oh,
no.
Oh, I thought it was just me.
Love that journey.
Yeah, no, you were coming in a little rough. Go for it.
Cool. All right. Love this journey. All right. So we're going to have the Hoods are going to give us some advice, any advice to people who are just starting their careers to kind of close out the show. And then Nick, I'm going to let you close out the show because the audio is all kinds of crazy. So take it away and take us home, Hoods and Nick.
Someone in chat better give us the translation. We couldn't hear you.
If he was saying take it away and take us home, I'll say you can find us at Hoodszpah Design.
And thank you for having us.
And thank you for having us, because it was a blast. And I'm so grateful that you all do what you do.
You guys figured it out.
I was
Bye, everybody.
reading those lips.